Welcome to Main Street, the show that helps individuals get jobs, create jobs, and manage money from the job. This is Ryan Mack with your hosts, Robin Barnes and Mario Bueno. Sponsored by Fifth Third Bank. Again, we're shifting the conversation from only politics to also include economics, tangible economic solutions for Main Street America. This is actually the last show, 2017. So we wanted to break it open up to the panel here, to the other co-hosts as well, to really just talk about closing financial tips that we see and economic tips that you all see in the community. So Mario, what are some things that you want folks to walk? We've had a good year this year. It started off September. I think Main Street's been going pretty well. And so what are some things that you want to have your people take away for 2018?
You know, in relation to Main Street, we're talking about a lot of people who are struggling, check to check. I think the holidays imposes unnecessary stress upon especially the patriarch, the returning citizen, who's a high statistic in the inner city, unfortunately. What I would recommend is that stay focused on the purpose of Christmas, the familial reason, the Christ-centered, the family-centered importance of it all. I'd also focus on resources, that those who went to prison, for the most part, didn't suffer not enough resources. We suffered paradigms and belief systems that put us in a position that we weren't resourceful. So what I'd say is continue to use your time to invest in self, get in that skilled trade, get in that college through FAFSA, through Federal Student Aid, as I did, and continue to focus on those that are around you that are empowering, adding value, and multiplying you, as opposed to subtracting and dividing you in relation to the new path that you're on. For those who have family members that served any kind of prison time, what I would say is, I think the mantra is more so patience. Being patient and understanding that you have a family member that has returned to an environment that's somewhat unfamiliar, right? So you have a family member that's experienced a lot of trauma, in a sense, both psychologically and physically. And so what I would say is be understanding that the culture of the holidays isn't necessarily the same as your family member. And be understanding in that it takes time and it's processual. As long as we can have a mindset of process, I think that puts us in a space to be patient with the ones that we love the most.
I like the fact you say keep in mind the reason of the season. I mean, this is for those who celebrate Christmas, this is Jesus' birthday. Man, I think Jesus is probably the most non-materialistic person you've ever met, but we've made it in the most materialistic holiday. And then we actually have economists that come out and say how much money we didn't spend during the holiday to rate the success or not success of the holiday. And there are a lot of folks out there on Main Street who they don't rate the success of their holiday, as you said, Mario, based upon how much money they spent on various gifts, but just being home, being with family. So great observation. What about you, Sister Barnes? What are some things you want folks to take away for the new year?
From New Year, pretty much the same. I think I'm more or less more toward the housing market, things of that nature, just being a broker and everything. But what I would love for people to do is not spend more money. If you feel like you got to spend that much money, that you have to go into debt for Christmas, then I need you not to do it. It's not worth it. Listen, if we love you, we love you, whether you got a gift or not. I haven't given gifts to my family members in over 10 years, I want to say, because it's just, let's just be honest, after a certain age, there's nothing people can buy you. Okay,
I'm not coming to your house for Christmas.
Oh no, but that's why I had the beautiful. That's why I had the beautiful gift boxes up under the tree. I just showed him. But
Can I get some food though?
Well, you can get some food.
Okay,
now, I feed you all day. I don't have no problem with
I'll
feeding.
take the food over.
But
the
I just don't
anyway.
want people to go into debt because this time of year is very depressing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
They feel like if they don't have the money to buy the gifts, that they can't go to the family functions, they can't do all those things. And you know what? It is about Jesus. It is about, it is Jesus' birthday. It's not, yeah, we give for the kids and stuff like that, but you know what? Kids don't really care about all the gifts. They play with them for about a week or two, maybe some of them they'll do a month, but really after that they throw it in a corner, and they just want to be with mom and dad. That's what they really want to do. So let's not lose focus of what the season is truly about. It's not about you getting in debt. You don't need to be in debt. You need to be out of debt so you can invest, so you can make more money, so that you can build your empire and have a legacy for your for your family. So that's what, to me, what is all about.
You're right, and they say debt is nothing but a license to pretend, especially if it's
Absolutely.
bad debt.
It is.
So I want to just give four quick tips for those individuals out there. 4 steps that as you go into 2018, I want folks out there to just write down. The first thing is remember your purpose or your passion. 2 most valuable days of your life: the day you were born, and the day you know why you were born. So number 1, write down your purpose or your passion. I also want you to write down 30 things that relate to your skills, your talents, your hobbies that could relate to your passion. Second thing is remember your vision. Okay, the people without vision, the people perish. We have to have a vision. I want you to write down, where do you think you will be 1, 5, 10, and 20 years from today, financially, economically, spiritually, mentally, socially, and physically as well, for health-wise. For the third thing, I want you to write down resources. Time and money are very precious resources, but I want you also to write down resources like people and knowledge. Folks out there listening, I want you to write down 5 books that you want to read for 2018 that's going to empower you to get to the next level. I want you to write down 5 people that you need to talk to that you hadn't spoke to before that can help you to connect with them, because you're only one person away from achieving your full blessing. Talk to that next person and see how can they get to that next level. Then finally, the step 4 is make sure you write down a tangible plan of action of when you're going to have dates and times attached, when you can get the first 3 steps fully accomplished. Because again, our love must not be a thing of words and fine talk. It must be a thing of action and sincerity. And that's what this show is really all about. It's about action. It's about making sure we can give out tangible economic resources. But I had a great conversation last week with the president of the sponsor of this program, Fifth Third Bank, David Ghirardelli. And I'll tell you, Fifth Third is a sponsor of this show, and they give a lot of support not only to this show, but we talked about a $30 billion billion-dollar giveaway that they're doing to various community organizations all across their footprint. A $3 million giveaway to the Entrepreneurs of Color program. You know what? Let's run that clip and let's see the interview with David Ghirardelli. And welcome to Main Street, the show that's helping individuals get jobs, create jobs, and manage money from the jobs, sponsored by Fifth Third Bank. And we have the president of Fifth Third Bank. Thank you, David Ghirardelli, for joining us.
Good afternoon, Ryan. Great to see you.
And thank you for the work you all are doing in the community and the work that we hear all the time. I've seen from the representatives that work within Fifth Third Bank, the individuals that utilize Fifth Third Bank, the customers, and the people that you all are impacting through Fifth Third Bank. So thank you for the work you all are doing. And want to get right into it here. The $30 billion community support plan, I think, first of all, I want to say thank you for that. You all are doing phenomenal work. And where exactly did this plan come from? What was why did you come up with this plan, and what is this plan exactly all about?
I appreciate the opportunity to discuss it and talk about it. That is a global commitment by Fifth Third Bank, $30 billion spread over all of our markets, 14 major metropolitan markets where we do business. And it is really, as the bank assessed it, we're a big believer in giving back to the communities where you make your money, where you live, yourself personally, like myself, our employees. So $30 billion is a big number in over 5 years, and then you have to break it down. How do you spend the money? Where do you put it to work? Well, let's think about what we need to do here in Detroit. Let's promote. We need home ownership. We need strong neighborhoods again. We need small business. We need prosperity amongst people that create jobs, and we know how important a small business network is. And then you have to have philanthropy. You have to have community commitment, an opportunity to give some money away, make some specific donations and things we'll touch on later, that we actually just take our money and back it up and put it back into the community.
And so with this $30 billion commitment, so many individuals, again, it almost seems like it's Fifth Third is operating like a nonprofit, in many aspects. And many individuals who I've known who work with Fifth Third either have that background or they have a strong passion to give back to the community. Is that a part of the hiring strategy in terms of how you select those individuals who are employees of Fifth Third?
we don't act as a nonprofit. We can't.
Right, exactly.
We're a for-profit institution, but an institution that has tremendous beliefs in giving back and what you do in your communities. If we're going to make money in this market, we have a responsibility to put money back, reinvest in the community. Now, no one's better to do that than a group of talented people like our community development leaders. Someone has to be the eyes and ears of the company. Someone has to be tied into the street. I spend a lot of time myself on my nonprofit boards and my civic leader connections. But when I have a team of people that go out there and look and say, what are those little opportunities? Because it might be anything from a small check to a big check. And sometimes it's not even the check. It's, can you give human capital hours? Can you put sweat equity behind an opportunity and help execute? And we have had tremendous examples of that as a company and what we do.
And so what are some of the organizations that you've invested in? Because, again, I actually feel many individuals will say that you invested and don't care about your bottom line, but I actually believe that because you care about your bottom line, you are investing in the communities in which you operate. So it actually is where it almost seems as if Fifth Third is a bank where altruism and capitalism have come and can coexist in the same space.
I think that's well said. That there's the old analogy that no money, no mission.
Right.
So our ability to show that we can run a successful organization across all our footprints, and here in metropolitan Detroit, we've had tremendous success, and we've built a brand and a reputation, and just want to giving back. Whether you have partners like a Samaritas and a Southwest Solutions, or you have our community neighborhood grant program where we can support things that are happening in Midtown, we can fund small business, or you make a big commitment like we just did into the Entrepreneurs of Color program.
Talk about that a little bit. I know that was just recently released, and how is that program, and what was the antithesis for that program?
That one, if you look at the composition of our community here, it's really important that we support what we look like.
Right.
And Entrepreneurs of Color is a great organization that the Detroit Development Fund manages. J.P. Morgan started it, and then they aligned Kresge, Kellogg, the Ralph Wilson Foundation, and invited Fifth Third in, and we made a $3 million contribution into that fund. And that is purely driven for small business development. It goes back to what I said earlier. The neighborhoods are so important to us. So we go out there and we're going to lend to startup entrepreneurs, and it's things that the banks can't do. And there needs to be access to capital. And in that small business sector, there's finally a tool for people to get those dollars, create jobs, create their own environment, grow up to be a bigger business that then we can go after and bank on a regular basis. We all know there's been a gap there in the marketplace for, let's call it the seed capital, angel capital. And now you have a real fund that's making loans, that doing things that banks can't do, and it's going to be a wild success. I think you follow this city, Ryan, and the backbones of what it was built on. It was small business. At one time, Henry Ford was a small businessman at one time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And think about what we've seen grow up here. So we're very excited about that program, and it was recently announced and released, and we really appreciate all the partners that are supporting it, and I'm thankful that they allow Fifth Third to participate.
And so there are a lot of small businesses who watch Main Street, so I'm sure that they're going to want to know, how do they get involved in this program? Because, again, I think it's a phenomenal program. Thank you for the contribution. I think to have the ability to create jobs is something that the private sector is king at, and you all have been doing this for a long time, even before this program. So how does an individual get involved in this program?
I tell you, you got probably two very easy ways to do it. Contracting to Detroit Development Fund direct, or even better, reaching out to Fifth Third Bank or reaching out to J.P. Morgan and letting us get to the community folks that can align those people and help them get into the program and get their data together, have some financial background in terms of a business plan and resources and technical assistance. I think the banks are the best place to start, and we're going to guide you as appropriate.
And so you said Kresge and as well as J.P. Morgan. So now these are two banks, and many individuals say, well, you all are competitors. Are you all working? How did that come about?
It's probably unique that in the marketplace we live, that we're all competing. But competition is good. It's
Right.
good. It's good for the consumer. It's good for the small business. People need choices. For us as Fifth Third, we're a regional bank. We're a little bit more of the hometown bank. J.P. Morgan's a very large institution. I think when you balance their size and our size, it puts us in a position to be great partners and give choices to people for what they want to do in the future.
Right, right. And so where do you see Fifth Third? Because again, from what I've seen from the branch managers that I've interacted with, whether it be a Warren or individuals of that sort, who they seem like they really have a passion and a care for the local community in which they serve. Where do you see? I think almost 1,200. Almost how many institutions do you have now? Almost.
We have 93 in Southeast Michigan.
Okay.
And then across the state, we have north of 200.
Okay.
Here's I tell you, banking in where it's going. It's a different world today because banking is not so much about brick and mortar as it used to be. Technology drives a big part of that. Access, but what I would look at in terms of the city and the urban environment, we have 5 financial centers in the neighborhoods of Detroit. And one of the best success stories we have is our Northwest Activity Center.
Right.
And Warren Morgan runs that office for us. And, that's the way of banking the future, in my opinion, in an urban environment where you're part of the community. We're anchored in that building. It has services to support people, whether it's financial literacy, job searching, activities, the basketball court.
And you all spent a lot of capital in order to refurbish that entire building.
Yes,
and,
we
and
did.
The basketball court and all that.
We spent as much money on that building. We could have built a building.
Right. right.
But we did it because it was an investment in a neighborhood, and it created a gathering place, and it created where people come. So if you think the Field of Dreams was build it and they will come, we had the opportunity. People were already coming there. We just had to do the renovations and assist in what they needed. And it's been a tremendous success. So that's a little different form of banking. It's a micro branch. It's cashless. It's driven by ATMs, but it's full service. We can take anything you need there, from an auto loan application to a mortgage application to opening your deposit account. We have to be smart in how we spend our capital, but that was probably one of the best investments we made.
I have to brag on you for a second because I remember in multiple workshops that we've done, and we originally met through Operation Hope. And we were in there, and we were doing a workshop out of Northwest Activity Center, and whether it be in there, then we went out to another organization, and we worked with those individuals who were formerly incarcerated. And we have one of your representatives come along with us, and they signed up with Express accounts, almost 20 accounts on the spot, many individuals who had never seen or heard about, or they've heard about them but didn't know anything about opening up a checking account, hadn't thought about it. They had used check cashing facilities, but now because of their interaction with you all and being flexible to go out to where the people are at, you actually help individuals to get individuals signed up on the spot. I thought that was amazing. And another thing I think is amazing, because again, it seems as if you all are changing with the tides and being able to adapt to what the community's needs are. You all have the bus that goes around from community to community. Talk a little bit about that.
That's a real pride point for Fifth Third is our e-bus. That comes usually here in the summer as you look out the window, the snow flying. It's not a lot of fun in the winter here.
Right.
But, once again, we go into the communities and we provide tools and access. This is a mobile bus unit, if everyone could vision it. It's a computer lab, and we have staff with our people. And usually we do some partnerships with others.
Right.
But do you need access in just running a credit score?
Yeah, all on the bus.
Right. Do you need an opportunity to do an online job application? Is it time for a mortgage loan application? Is it just some coaching and consulting? And we're doing it in the neighborhoods. We're trying to make it as convenient and accessible as possible. But a great example of Fifth Third's commitment of you can't take, you have to give back. And those things you're talking about, express banking. It's a product set that we needed. We don't want you going to the check casher. We want you being a bank customer. So we brought a product in line that can help it, reestablish, build the trust that you need with the bank, become a viable customer, get charged the appropriate cost of doing business. I mean, it's a tremendous product, wildly successful, and we're getting new relationship for it. And one thing we know is you build loyalty in a brand, people stick with you. And I want to see long-term relationships, long-term clients at Fifth Third Bank.
And so, is the North Star strategy working? It seems like it is.
North Star's a very large strategy, and it's got a lot of components to it. But some of the simpler things are improving our mortgage business and promoting home ownership and investing in technology. It definitely is on a path of success, labeled and ready for our shareholders. But more importantly, within that strategy, it was about what about the communities and where you do business and making sure you're promoting the right things. And I think we live our brand every day. And it's because of that and how Fifth Third functions, it's going to drive our success in this market and the other places we do business.
Well, I have to say that in terms of being the most valued and trusted bank, I think you're definitely achieving that in the Detroit area and beyond. And I just want to say I'm very proud to have a partner in Fifth Third. And thank you for all the work you're doing.
You know, I have to thank you as well. You, like I say, our history goes back a little while, and I'm glad to see your success continues. But having advocates like yourself saying positive things about Fifth Third and you saying it because you've experienced it.
Exactly.
You know, we can only, the sign and the brand on the building are only as good as the people inside of it. And I think we back it up. I live it and breathe it every day, and I think all the people you know at Fifth Third do as well, Ryan.
Thank you so much for your time,
Thank
sir.
you so much.
And talk to you soon on Main Street.
Have a great day.
Back on Main Street, definitely want to say thank you to David Gerdat for the good interview and a great time. Again, I also want to just extend a Happy New Year to all of the family members. I do call them family at Fifth Third Bank. Known them for many years, going on a couple of decades now that we've been following and working together throughout the community. And David Gerdat, thank you for the work you're doing. And Bonner Elliott and Loretta Humphrey and Phil Henry and all the good folks over there at Fifth Third Bank. Just thank you for the sponsorship. Thank you for the friendship. And as we continue, again, Main Street, this is the show we help individuals get jobs, create jobs, and manage money from the job. We are sitting here today with an individual who I consider to be one of the most premier job creators in the entire state of Michigan, as a matter of fact, because he is the president of the Metropolitan AFL-CIO, Rick Blocker. Thank you for joining the show.
Oh, no, my pleasure. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that you invited me, and look forward to a good conversation here.
And so the union has a critical role in helping individuals to get created to jobs, high-paying jobs. We hear a lot about things, prevailing wage. We hear a lot about individuals trying to get trained.
Let me just say this. It has been a historical fact that people who are in unions make $2 more per hour than people who are not. We have heard a lot about woman equality and how female people in the workforce, female members, I mean, they make less money. But you never hear about that in the union, because if you're in the union, you're going to receive the same pay as the person who working with you. You know, I started off in the grocery store. All the cashiers made the same amount of money. You know, it was some changes as you elevated yourself to the top rate. But once you reached the rate and you had the same amount of seniority, you made the same pay. And it's no better vehicle, I feel, than collective bargaining. It's just having the strength of 3,000 people bargaining together. It just outweighs the strength of one, as far as I'm concerned. And we have historical facts to back that up.
And talk about, because again, as we've known each other, and I also give shout out to people like Al Garrett, people like Jimmy Settles, individuals who are in the struggle, really fighting for individuals, the working people, the working class, to make sure they can have enough money in their pocket. Because you all offer a lot of workforce development type things as well throughout the different organizations that are affiliated with the Metropolitan AFL. Talk about some of the programs that they might offer to help people
right
get
now,
trained.
we're working. I'm also on the Detroit Economic Development Board, and we have raised, and I'm very proud of this, but it looks like around $10 million. We have 300, I want to say, young adults that are going to Randolph Vocational School, and they're getting trade assistance, and they're given an opportunity. I know we have 47 of them are in the electrician, which is really, it's good to give somebody a job or give them opportunity, but being able to get a trade that you can use the rest of your life is invaluable. So we're working on that, and we're trying to really, I mean, it's goals in Detroit that if you get money from the city of Detroit, that 50% of the residents have to be from Detroit. And unfortunately, sometimes we can't even enforce that rule or that ordinance because we don't have 50% of the Detroiters being trained.
That happened with the Little Caesars Arena. Individuals they had to pay a hefty fine because they weren't able to find enough qualified or workers who were trained. But you all are helping to fix that.
So
every day.
we're working on it, and I think the building trades are stepping up. And I think it's a great time for young people. I mean, everyone wants to be that doctor or lawyer. I get that. And those jobs have a lot of prestige, but it's a lot of people who go into school right now. And I'm saying if you're out there and you're looking in, if you're in the 7th or 8th grade, ninth grade, you can really start gearing yourself towards making a good income by getting into these trades. Electrician, I talk about that, but any type of carpentry, we got the laborers who have a lot of people doing work for them. I mean, it's a lot of great jobs, roofers. It's just a great opportunity right now. I mean, $10 billion is coming through this area, and I know we still got two bridges they're talking about building, all kind of economic development, the new Hudson site. I'm not promoting these things, but I am saying that they're here,
Some
they're going
jobs.
to be here, and the jobs are going to be here, and you really need to be ready. And I want to emphasize, if you are going to get an electrician job, you have to be at 10th grade math and 10th grade English. So a lot of the young kids are not really up there with the math level or the English level, so they really need to get serious about it and take advantage of these opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, what are you doing? What is AFL-CIO? Are you going into the schools? Because just like you said, a lot of the kids are not where they need to be as far as math and science. I mean, we really don't press it and push it. Is there anything that maybe the unions are capable of doing that can go into, like, maybe
Well, we
DPS
have,
and assist?
all
with
of the
that?
unions have an apprentice program. Unfortunately, if the kids are not coming, when I say kids, I want to be clear, young adults are not coming to us prepared on the educational level, it does create some barriers to that. So we are, and this Randolph is an opportunity to try to get them so they can be prepared. We do have pre-apprentice programs to try to get them prepared within there. But every trade out there has an apprentice program. And unfortunately, you bring up a great point. It's unfortunate, but a lot of the young people don't have the math levels that they need or the training. So we are trying to encourage them, and we're going to try to get into the junior high schools earlier and even the elementary schools,
right.
and try to encourage them to look at it. Because, like I said, everybody wants to be a lawyer. Everybody wants to be a doctor. We get that. But it is some opportunities to have a sustainable lifestyle and really be, just earn a good life.
Right, and even in the different fields that you just mentioned, lawyers and attorneys and doctors. I mean, your brother is an attorney, and
He works with the unions.
and he works with the
Yeah.
unions. He's with AFL-CIO, I do believe,
Yeah, his
right?
brother,
And right-
Richard Mack. a good
Richard
shout
Mack,
out.
the
He-
Mack.
To say he's the best attorney in the state of Michigan.
Yeah, we
That
love
was
Richard
a paid
here.
statement.
Yeah, we love Richard.
But
But I
he's
mean,
been
but
a
even
good
he-
mentor for Ryan here.
Absolutely.
Right, but even he has had a lot of education as far as math and things of that nature.
You gotta have
it as doctors and stuff. You have to have
people
it.
wonder why do you need, as an electrician, the math, but you need the algebra for the problem solving.
Right.
You
Know how
don't
many
know what
volts.
you're going to run into when you get to electrical job.
Right.
And it really, the opportunities there, and we're trying to enhance that. And the union does a lot more than that. I just want to emphasize, when you have a union, you have a voice. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, you could be in a non-union environment and have a voice. But I'm proud of the fact that when you're in the union, you have a contract. And a contract gives you litigation.
Paid leave, weekends,
and-
all that
and-
came
and,
from the
you know,
unions.
all of these, even the term weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, that term didn't just come about. Nobody, management didn't say, I'm working these guys 18 hours, 7 days a week. Maybe I need to do something different. It came through collective bargaining. It came through 8 hours, 5 days a week. And we, even the safety issues. I think a lot of times unions don't get credit for making sure your job is safe. And I know this job is about money. And I know a lot of people who are on union, they had a defined pension, and that defined pension is paying them money right now to make sure that they have a good lifestyle as they retire with dignity. So I'm proud of a lot of the things the unions do. I know people have right now. I mean, we're talking 11% of the people are in unions. So that means 89% of this population, even that we're talking to today, don't know what it is to have a union, don't know what it is to have these things protected. So And we're trying to work with the community. We're trying to make sure we get union-friendly candidates elected because we want to make sure that working people, I even hate to use the term union people, I want to say working people are protected because we believe we're instrumental in having a middle class here in America.
A lot of your folks work with the unions?
Yeah, that was a question. How felony friendly are the unions? How felony friendly are the unions?
Well, some of these trade groups, if you do come in and they take a look at it, I mean, these contractors have to have a certain amount. Let's just be honest. If you're on a building site, they want to be ensured that the people are safe around them. But I know if you go into the carpentry, I don't want to start naming names. There's a lot of great individuals out there, but they are very friendly as far as looking at what you did and giving you a second chance. I mean, some offenses are going to be looked at a lot more favorable than others. So, but they do hire ex-felons. They do hire, and they give people a second chance.
You know, there's a strong correlation, obviously, between reading levels and incarceration, right? And understanding that you have to have at least a 9th, 10th grade reading comprehension level, which is
Well, for the electrician, you can
Right.
get into some of the other trades. Digging ditches. I don't want to knock anything. Every job has
Right.
dignity, but with the laborers or some of the other trades, you can have a little less education level
Okay.
and get into carpentry. But you still have to be able to produce. You still have to be able to read. You still have to be able to decipher. Nobody wants a wall put up the wrong way, and heaven forbid you doing some electrical work and not wiring it.
Right,
Right.
right. So with that understanding and that strong correlation, that strong relationship between reading levels and incarceration rates, and understanding Detroit and how it's designed and the returning citizen level, the rates of thereof, how important do you think it is to really start at the grassroots at that 3rd grade,
Oh, I
4th
believe-
grade?
I believe
In
we
relation to
should
the,
start-
but I'm talking about in relation to the unions, because if you guys are going to maintain a strong membership and you guys are going to really tap into your marketplace, isn't that the marketplace? If you got laws designed to benefit you by 15% residents being on a work site, but only 20% has a 10th grade, 11th grade reading level because 70% are returned citizens, you see it's a lot of interconnecting moving parts going
Well,
on,
I mean,
but all
you're
rooted at 3rd
absolutely
grade
correct.
reading levels.
Well, you're
Right?
absolutely correct. I won't say 3rd grade, but even 6th grade.
Well, I'm actually a published
Yeah.
scholar, and I actually did a 165-page report for the House of Representatives in relation to
Yeah.
School of Prison Pipeline,
Oh, okay.
running book clubs
All
on the
right.
9th District. So actually, technically speaking, reading comprehension determines your math capability.
Right. I
And-
mean,
Right,
a
right.
lot
So it's
of
all
it-
intertwined.
And I think we do have to try to get into the junior high schools.
Right.
And, I mean, even when we did this program with Randolph, and we was fortunate enough to get up to 300 students that are currently there.
Excellent. That's
Yeah,
the
their-
that's the
their
pilot.
enrollment was
That's the
down for a
pilot
while.
program,
Yeah,
right?
the enrollment was
That's
down,
the
yeah.
innovative pilot program,
Right.
correct?
The
That's
enrollment
phenomenal.
was down.
Phenomenal.
And the problem, and that's why I am saying part of the solution is to get to them earlier.
The culture, creating the
Now,
culture
I
in
mean,
middle
but
school, absolutely.
you have to take care of what you have now.
Yeah.
But you have to look towards the future. And looking towards the future, we have tried to. We're looking at putting programs together to get to the junior high schools to see if we can change the culture there and just emphasizing.
What is
their
Randolph?
point.
Randolph is what ages is Randolph?
It's right now.
It's 9th to
10th.
12th, no?
9th to
9th
through 12th for high
12th
school.
grade.
Yeah.
High school.
If you could speak to this, because there are two specific problems I feel that I think the union are addressing. One is I was actually talking to one of the president of the Roofers Union, and Adrian. One of the-
Adrian's a great guy.
And he was saying how there are many individuals out there who, one, and Rick Pruitt, there's all
Rick
these,
Pruitt, yeah.
there are a lot of great resources that the unions are providing, but they're saying they would like to get more enrollment from, especially here in the city of Detroit.
Well,
in the-
we have to have a strong school system.
right.
And I mean, we just have to really, you're not going to have a great city, you're not going to have this great comeback if you don't have a great school system here. And we've been trying to work with them, trying to help. But I mean, a lot more needs to be done. You brung up 3rd grade. I'm working with United Way, and we're trying to get kids even pre-kindergarten.
That's
Because
crucial.
you can
Formative
imagine
years. Absolutely.
how you lose so much between 2 and
Two
5,
and 5.
and now you're playing catch up.
All their
So
life.
all
their
of
life.
these things, and I always wear my hat as far as, even though the AFL is nonpartisan, I'm a Democrat, and when I see these programs like Head Start and some of these other programs being cut by this administration in Washington, and it's just really. It's not going to get us where we need to get. We need to start sooner. We need to have kids reading sooner. We need financial literacy sooner. We need all of these things. Not when they get to high school. We need them before that. So
And
Right.
how do people get involved? Because again, and I know you're also passionate about making sure that we're using the medical marijuana clinics responsibly throughout the city as well. We've talked about that before.
Responsibly?
Because many individuals are not being able to get jobs because they
And it's,
might have that
it's,
in
a,
their
cul- it's
system.
a cultural
Absolutely.
aspect. It's a
And
cultural
that's a
aspect.
part of the culture.
It's a
Part of
cultural
the-
aspect.
part
Instead
of
of
the problem-
pharmaceuticals.
That we have too many.
Well,
I think
part
the
of the
problem
problem
is-
is however I feel about medical marijuana. I don't want to be the old guy who drinks and tell people they can't smoke marijuana. But the bottom line is those contractors, if they don't want you on the job
They don't want the liability.
under the influence, then you can't be on the job under the influence. And you can talk and give me all the rationale. I mean, we got a lot of barbershop lawyers out there.
I love it.
I mean, they want to argue about it, and I can agree with them,
Right.
but I cannot stop the contractors for saying, if you have it in your system, I'm not going to hire you.
And that's
No,
like
well, it's a
that's like
huge
into the script
liability.
though. If you have a medical script and you're taking opiates, you're not supposed to be on the job.
Right.
Right.
So it's comparison. So you're right. The argument is moot in relation to pharmaceuticals.
If you want the
compared-
job, you gotta
You have to
take
stop.
care of your business.
It's a priority.
And just think about it. Even though you don't want nobody on the roof if they, and I'm not, and I don't want to get in a debate about marijuana.
Regardless
don't hurt you
of the
or
drug,
not.
right.
But you really,
Right.
you want to be 110% ready. You don't want to be 90% or whatever. You want to be there, and you want to be careful.
Well, you know
Sound
what? You know what?
mind.
I don't really think it's a debate. I
Right.
think what you're saying is in really subtle terms, is that listen, if you want this job,
You got to do
you
it.
got to understand from the perspective of a contractor who owns the company
Who is liable.
that's
Who is
liable
liable.
for if you get up there or build something wrong and a month later it falls over
Or harm
on people
self or other.
hurt other people. So they don't want you to do it. So the jobs are there. He's telling you he's going to train you.
Right.
Okay, so there. Once again, I go back to my initial statement 5 weeks ago when I said, so you're telling me he's giving you the education,
Yeah.
and all you have to do is stop smoking weed,
And so-
and you can get the job.
How do can people get a hold of Metro AFL Sale? Can they give you a call?
Yeah, you can call our number, excuse me, 313-961-0800, 313-961-0800. We can put you in contact with Access for All. We're working with United Way. We can give you some information on the other trades like the roofers and their apprentice program. We have a community service department. We can give you an opportunity to meet with them. And you mentioned the roofers, and I really want, because a lot of times I'm not crazy about heights, but if you went out to their training facility in Oak Park and saw how many safety elements they have, and how safe they are, how they secure you are up there, you'll have a different outlook on it.
Yeah.
Because I think some people get a little paranoia, and unfortunately, we do have accidents that happen. But you'll find out being a roofer is a lot safer occupation than a
It's
lot
good
of
money.
people
Yeah,
think.
and
Very
it's
good money.
wonderful,
And
and
you're
it's
going to
good
get
money.
paid
Yeah.
a decent way.
And so,
benefits,
so
too.
again, somebody out there, I want folks to just really understand that when they call you, you can have access to people that have jobs. And this is one of the reasons why I really want this show to just magnify what you all are offering. Because there's somebody out there that wants a job. There's somebody out there that says, you know what, I'm trying to get trained, but they don't know where to go. But here we have
Well-
someone who's doing the
well-
training. And so can you give the number out one more
Well,
time?
I'm going to, my number is 313-961-0800. If you call me and you tell me which building trades you're interested in, I will get you the information on their apprentice programs. Every union in this area, all the building trades, the carpenters, the millwrights, the roofers, they all have apprentice programs. The electricians, I don't start naming them, I'm going to miss some of them, but I'm just saying you can get in contact with them. You mentioned Rick Pruce, he's doing a great job. We have a lot of people out here who are trying to help. I do have to give a shout out to Brenda Jones, our council president, and her skilled trade task force meets every last Tuesday of the month, and they're doing great work trying to get people in the skilled trades. So
Okay.
that's another great resource.
Absolutely.
Also.
Well, thank you so much, Rick Blocker, for coming on the show today.
Okay.
When we have some great small businesses coming up next on Main Street. Don't go away. Back on Main Street, and I am hungry, hungry, hungry. I'm going to tell you right now, we have Flavor for the Soul. Again, the show that's helping individuals get jobs, create jobs, and manage money from the jobs. And we have Sister Jackie Jackson.
Yes, Jackie
And-
Jackson.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. And I think your story and Flavor for the Soul is such a great product. It's such an inspiration, I think, in your story. Tell a little bit about your story and how this business, this great organization with these cookies, came to fruition, because you are really, literally baking with love.
Absolutely, absolutely. We started in 2011, mom and daughter team. We actually, she started about 35 years ago working for the Detroit Police Department baking, and I was helping. I hated doing it. Oh my God, I hated it. So eventually, about 15 years later, she had retired, and I told her I wanted to bake, and we tag teamed it. So I baked and she decorated. And 2014, I lost her to cancer, and I'm preserving her legacy. So every time I deliver, every time I bake, every time I pop up, it's me and mom kicking it. You know, I'm sharing her with the world. So, you know, Mary A. Thomas is the reason I live for my daughters, and I'm preserving her legacy and sharing it with the world.
And so, again, so I thought what you said, I'm telling y'all, she touched me, because she said she fights off. I mean,
Yes.
my mother, God bless her, is still alive, and it's hard to think about the passing of a mother,
Yes,
right?
as her only child.
And you're saying you literally are fighting off anxiety and depression.
Yes.
When you are in, and so man, again, so this y'all, listen, this is literally baked with love.
Yes.
Right.
Literally.
And they're pink for me.
Baked with love. And they look good, don't they?
But they're pink for me.
And what inspires you to get the different types of recipes? The brownies here, you
Ain't that
have
cute?
this little parfait. Is that parfait?
Yes.
Little parfait.
Yes.
Oh, look at this.
Everybody likes parfait.
Right. So
Parfait.
it started as sober, as we call it. It's sober,
like the
spike,
spike.
and
I like the
sometimes
spike, too.
vegan.
What?
So, you know, the spike, we have our different liquors or different libations and
Yes,
views.
yes.
You have Ryan
Yes.
doing karaoke.
Right. And we just go from there. So 100% of our menu can go sober or spike, and then about 85% of it can go vegan.
Vegan.
Ooh, vegan.
Yes.
We talked about vegan the other day.
We're looking at vegan.
You
Yes.
trying to
So
do-
it's absolutely no dairy, no eggs, no animal byproducts.
Okay, well, let me tell you. See, I make. Let me tell you about me. And we're talking about this vegan thing, but you know, I'm looking at my pound cake, and I know I have
this
like
stuff look- is it-
I
is
have
this
4
vegan?
sticks of full butter.
Yes. So that's our watermelon margarita cupcake.
Is this vegan?
Is that vegan?
no,
No,
I
no,
didn't
no.
bring
Oh,
vegan.
Which
good,
one-
good,
which one is the
good.
vegan?
Oh,
Which
okay.
one
I
is
didn't
the
bring
vegan?
any vegan.
Yes.
in.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, we good. We good to
So
go.
that's the spiked one. Which other?
Which one is
So
spiked? Oh, the pink
the-
one. Spiked.
Margarita in there.
Yeah,
That's
that's,
the- oh, the
the
pink one
watermelon
spiked?
margarita.
Ah,
Yes, and
okay.
the cookies are the rum cookies.
They look
Whoa.
good, too. Can we try one?
Absolutely,
Oh,
please.
my goodness.
The
No,
brownie
I-
hair,
Can I-
the
I want
brownie,
the
He
margarita.
went straight to the.
You want the margarita?
cupcake.
Well, what's in here?
and the brownie.
Margarita.
There's no liquor in this one.
How about
And
the
this
fudge?
is the
What's
Long
fudge
Island
like?
brownie.
What's the fudge like? The
And
brownie?
that's the fudge, but that's Bailey's fudge.
Y'all want some of this?
Bailey's. I want to try the Bailey's.
No, you knock it out.
Let's try the Bailey's fudge.
Wow, this stuff is good,
Let me see
delicious.
where's the Bailey's fudge?
got a
at?
That's
Bailey's
Bailey's
fudge.
fudge.
Oh,
And then
Okay.
the parfait with the it's the brownie, and then
Wait a
it's actually a
minute.
mascarpone
so I love
cream.
Bailey's and I love fudge.
Ooh,
Oh, here we go.
wait a
Here goes
minute. I
karaoke.
got a little shot of
Here goes
liquor.
Well, that's Long Island caramel.
Oh, I got some long. All right. I ain't even started drinking yet. I'm just kidding. Let me see. Oh, let me see.
This is good,
Oh my
man.
God.
Thank you.
Flavor for the soul.
Oh Lord.
Yes.
And
like
Thank
this.
you.
This is absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give
My
me a cute little
Wow.
spoon.
What you put on top of it here?
So the little
still-
heart there is actually a little shot of the watermelon vodka, but everything has it in it.
Oh my God.
So
Well, you gotta pass me one of the spoons.
What you
Oh,
got
you
the
need
spoon?
spoon?
What y'all
Here you
eating
go,
over
spoon.
there?
Oh no.
Well, I have the Long Island.
You got the Long Island.
I got the Long Island
a
brownie
Long Island
with a
brownie.
shot.
Hey,
I just poured the shot of the Long
Let
Island
me
on
just
top.
tell you this: that bite of the bite of the what was it?
We
Fudge?
are all-
Bailey's fudge.
Bailey's fudge actually warmed my stomach after it went down
Yes.
this way.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
So
I'm
there's-
trying to.
Yeah, right here.
We
So the
coined
Bailey's
it.
fudge definitely had Bailey's. in it.
yes, absolutely. And chocolate Bailey.
So she's the kind of bartender everyone loves.
So we call myself the flavor scientist because we provide flavor so spiked and sometimes vegan all through the science of baking.
Yeah, you had to get that in there because we way off script
Hey,
now.
hey, Ryan, you gotta try this.
Yeah, you
Ryan,
just,
get that spoon
We all,
right
we,
there.
all, we just going off script.
Yeah, you just
No,
going and
no, Ryan, I'm
roll
serious.
it,
Way off
roll it,
script. That's
roll
no
your
script,
stuff,
script,
girl.
now. Family time.
Ryan, try that.
All right,
So
now
we're
try
on
that.
Facebook.
Okay, she, what's your
Hey,
Facebook? What's your
contact
Facebook?
right now? Because we're gonna do it like
Flavor
3
for the soul.
times.
And yeah, give me the number.
Flavor for the soul, and then the direct
Oh
contact
my
313
You had
444
to take the Long Island?
9056. 313 444 9056.
Because I was yelling when you were giving that number out. You had to get out of it.
Hey,
Y'all,
we're
look,
gonna
don't play, y'all.
be doing karaoke.
313.
By the next segment, we're gonna be doing karaoke.
The Long Island
Hey,
caramel
don't taste
topping.
Hey, don't act like Lemon on CNN last New Year's. You see him? You see Lemon?
He was getting loose.
Did you
Yeah,
see him?
he
You
was
see
getting
Lemon?
loose.
And you done miled down. You didn't
I'll
took that
give
to
that, I'll
the
give that whole thing.
Okay, but somebody said we got to try the brownie.
I'm trying. What, okay, you got to get a number
So
out
that's
one
the
more-
brownie, and
You got-
then you have the fudge,
Oh,
and
that's
then
fudge.
the rum cookies.
313-477-4004.
Yep, that's the other number.
Ask for
Yeah.
Jackie Jackson.
Jackie Jackson.
JJ.
313-477-4004.
It's times like this I'm glad I'm an adult.
I'm trying
Yes.
to tell you.
Yeah. So again,
That's good
everything
eating.
sober,
right here? This
spiced,
is
or
soft.
vegan.
That
is
is
real
real
soft.
Try that. Try
This is
that.
real. So, oh, trust me, I
It got
am.
like it's almost like juicy.
Trust me, I am.
It's almost like juicy, a juicy flavor.
You need to try this. Oh,
Watch that. Watch that. Don't watch it hit you. Watch it. Watch it.
I can smell. I can smell the liquor.
He tried to tell you.
I'm trying to tell you.
No, you don't get it.
So
I don't
good.
get it.
No, you don't get it.
That's
You
amazing.
gotta try that. You don't
No, is it really? Oh,
No, you
What,
don't
now,
get
what
it.
is this right? You said that's. You said that's some.
That's watermelon vodka.
Ooh, let me go on and go. Let me
What
take
is
it-
this?
Oh my
So
goodness.
you could squeeze it in there, or you can like drizzle it on top. But
Oh my God.
Oh, you open it. Oh my gosh.
This no look
you
look
can
look
squeeze
it's coming
it.
out.
Yes.
It's sweet. That's why it's so juicy.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a little squeezer thing.
Yes, ma'am.
You squeeze the vodka over the top of the.
Oh, you didn't do that
That's
with
an
yours.
extra kick of it.
No, I'm
Or
gonna
you
drink.
can
I'm gonna
just-
drink
Oh,
mine.
you
wow.
put your
Shoot
whole one
it.
right.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Oh wow, I'm squirting it everywhere.
That's good.
I squirted it everywhere.
Jackie Jackson.
we are happy.
313-477.
No, you don't get it. You don't get we're ordering some of these.
4004.
Does she
Our
have
new-
an
this is
address?
our
We
New
can go
Year's
pick up
up
some
treat.
stuff?
So you got to go
Deliver.
to
We deliver. We pop up.
www.
you are.
for the soul.
No.
So just give us a call.
Flavor
We're
for
wherever
the
you are.
soul.
Wow, this is strong. Where you at? Where you at?
Well, based out of Detroit, working on a commercial kitchen now, but we are wherever you are.
So question for you. Are you working with Motor City Match right now?
Getting ready to go through the
Yeah, I was about to
process
say.
to apply.
And you know, Fifth Third has the
Yes.
Entrepreneurs
All
of
right.
Color program. $3 million. Just put in. We're gonna put you up in touch with. And we have another good
He
organization
just
coming
met-
up afterwards. $3 million they put in Entrepreneurs of Color, the Detroit Development Fund.
Oh wow. This is all
Sponsored by
this is all
Fifth Third
vodka, isn't
Bank.
it? This is all vodka.
Oh my
I gotta
God.
take a
Listen,
breath.
let me
Like,
tell
oh,
you.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Somebody wasted some liquor. Wait a minute. Oh my God.
313-477-4004. Flavor for the soul.
Flavor, hey, I'm
Flavor
so tipsy.
for the
I
soul.com.
don't know about you. I'm the same. I'm a little bit.
Oh, y'all have an event coming up real quick.
Yeah, December 23rd.
Oh,
Our
shit.
last
Hey.
event our last pop-up of the year.
Oh, no, that
is
can't be the
Tasting
last
AKA.
Oh.
And that's
go.
that's December 23rd
Where
at
at?
the Garden Theater.
Garden
Theater.
We can
Yes.
call Corey and get some tickets.
313-477-4004, www.flavor for the
No,
soul.
seriously, this is
Yes.
phenomenal. This is
Thank
phenomenal. God
you.
bless
This
you
is
and your mama.
amazing.
Thank
You hear me?
And we know we
Your
got,
mama lives
we got
forever.
one more business
A
coming up.
wise
on the other
man
side
or
of
woman leaves an inheritance to a children's children.
And
Yes.
we're going to finish eating the rest of these cakes and being ashamed at how
Ashamed
gluttonous
and
we
singing
are.
karaoke.
Great Flavor for the Soul.
Nothing is vegan here.
On the other side of this, we got
No.
another great business coming up next door on Main Street. Coming right back at you.
Ooh.
Welcome back to Main Street, the show that's helping individuals get jobs, create jobs, and manage money from the jobs. This is Ryan Mack, your host, with Robin Barnes and Mario Bueno. We have Tamiko Jones here with another fabulous beauty care line, Beauty Bar Organics. Thank you, Tamiko Jones, for coming on the show today.
Thank you, but it's Tamiko Joy.
Tamiko Joy, I do apologize.
Okay.
So Tamiko Joy, so tell us a little about your organization here, and just like to have some great products here, vitamin C face cream, and some great body butter.
The honey buttercream
Ooh,
body
these
butter,
are
that's
soaps?
my top seller.
Are
Those
these
are
soaps?
soaps.
Ooh.
Yes.
Smells
So
good.
tell us a little bit about the organization.
So I have a natural skincare line that I manufacture myself. I make everything from organic and natural butters and oils. I get a lot of them from West Africa and the Middle East, so I'm importing directly.
Wow.
And I have everything from the vitamin C face cream, the charcoal face mask that he's holding, which is a top seller, the honey buttercream body butter, which is my #1 top seller.
This is number one seller. Can I open it?
You not only can you open it, you're going to smell it and you're
Oh,
going to try it.
okay, wait a minute.
Yes.
Ooh.
And so that's made with cocoa butter, shea butter, mango butter, and then I infuse
So what
it
do you do?
with
You
raw
put it on
honey.
your face,
No, you put it everywhere on your body.
on the hands?
Yeah, don't nobody want to be rubbing up against your ashy elbows and your crusty feet. So you got to get yourself together.
And that's the face cream?
I'm
No,
gonna
this
try
is
this
for the
too.
body.
I'm gonna try
Please,
some too.
please.
Ooh, it's like a shake.
That
It's
smells
like
good.
Doesn't it smell good?
Oh, it does smell
See a little bit of that?
Men chase me down for this.
Really?
Amongst
I
many
like
other
this.
things, but they chase me down
Oh,
for
watch
this.
yourself. Watch
Yes.
yourself now.
Yes.
Let me get a little bit more, a little
Okay.
taste.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's good, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that smell good?
And this is great because I suffer from dry.
Okay.
all the
Especially
time.
in the cold,
I
especially in the
suffer.
cold.
Yeah, well, I suffer
Yeah.
anyway. I just don't.
In the
I-
cold time, this is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So
This is
what
great.
was your the inspiration to get this going? Because and because there's somebody out there that really wants to learn how to start and do what you're doing. Or what's your inspiration to get all this started?
Well, my inspiration, it started out with hair care products. I was living in Las Vegas in Stepford Wives suburbia, couldn't find anything for my hair. I'm naturally curly, even though my hair is not curly today. And I started making products out of my kitchen, just like most people that do this. Decided to move back to Detroit to launch the business. I had been gone for 15 years, New York, LA, Vegas, you name it. I lived there. And then my daughter has eczema, and so I created the honey buttercream body butter for her. Just because she was 5 at the time, I didn't want those medicines on her,
what
no,
my
those
daughter
icky
has.
things. Oh, well, then you.
This is all
you
natural
need to go
stuff
home
here,
with it.
right? This
Yeah. And so then it morphed into, then I started putting this on the table as I'm vending at different locations in Detroit, selling out each and every time, and it literally morphed into a full skincare line.
Now, how do you make all of this? What do you do? Like what? Because to go from the products and putting all this stuff together to create, how do you make it? Like how do you make this? To me, it just blows my mind.
It blows my mind too. So it's hard. It's hard. I went through a couple of stages of product packaging and development and things like that. I've developed a process for each and every product that I have.
You
I
make
have
it in your
about-
house, or you have like a factory?
I
or-
have kind of a small cosmetic lab going on, but I'm
What?
getting ready to get a building where I'm going to manufacture this as long as.
So you're like our modern day Carol's daughter.
Yes, I am.
Because
Wow.
Carol's daughter actually came to
Yeah.
Detroit and spoke at the DAC, and she spoke about how she did the same thing
Yes.
Same thing.
you did, that she started in her kitchen.
So funny
Make it.
story. I used to buy products from Lisa at her house.
Really?
Yeah. When I was living in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I used to live in Brooklyn.
Where at?
Yeah, Bedside.
I,
Right there,
I lived in Bell-Stuy.
off the A line, the C line, off Franklin stop.
Okay, you were like that way. Okay, yeah, you were over there.
He is in the hood.
I was in Clinton Hill.
But it was technically on the corner
But you
of
were
Bedside.
the, you were
He
the
was in
next
the hood.
stop. though.
Yeah,
He was in
yeah.
the
Clinton, Washington.
Yeah,
I can get off. I can get off in that stop sometimes if I want to walk a little bit.
yeah. Sometimes that was another
I live with
stop.
my people, man. I live with my people.
Yeah, so you doing
But
too
now I
much.
used to, so you know where Lisa's store is
Yes,
on DeKalb. And so
absolutely.
I used to buy products from her, and it's funny how it's come full circle that now, I'm doing like literally the same thing she was doing 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And what is this spray stuff here?
So that's a vitamin C facial toner. So
Face toner?
Yes. So after you would
They
do
spray
this.
this toner stuff on me when I do the CNN chair. When they put me in the chair, they put the whatever that is. This what the stuff they spray on me?
Well, they're spraying a setting spray on you. That's
it
different.
setting?
That's different.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know what-
toner
I don't know
will
what
make
you
you
want.
toner make you shine. So they're
Does
not
it?
doing that.
So first, I cleanse with this. This is a deep cleansing
Ooh.
honey facial bar.
Oh.
I make this with honey and myrrh powder. Myrrh powder digs up the impurities out the
Myrrh.
face, especially if you're on
That's what
TV
they brought
and you're
Jesus,
wearing
no
makeup.
myrrh.
You want to make sure
Myrrh
you
and
remove
frankincense.
it.
Yeah.
And then the honey moisturizes. Then you follow up with the vitamin C facial toner. Vitamin C, especially in the wintertime, citrus is good for the skin.
Yeah.
It's going to help even out the skin tone and make you look bright and fresh so you don't have a dead winter look. And then you follow it up with the vitamin C face cream moisturizer.
Oh.
Wow.
So
Is
when
this
do
your
I use the
process, Ryan,
mask?
at
'Cause I
night?
like
No, I just go to bed.
We know.
That's my go to bed process.
We know that. You peeped that out, haven't you?
But see, that's a common problem with men.
Yeah.
You just go
We
to
just
bed.
don't know. Yeah.
But you've been outside all day. You've been talking
Yeah.
to people.
Yeah.
Bacteria, toxins, everything is on your face.
Skin
and you
around the
just gonna go to bed.
eyebrows
to bed.
peeling from
And
the
lay
from
on
the
the
cold.
same dirty
pillow
pillow.
on the same dirty pillow.
Yeah.
Well, you supposed
And
to
I
change
bet you
pillow?
don't even
Well, you supposed
vacuum
to
your
change
pillow.
You gotta
Vacuum.
clean your
You gotta
face.
vacuum the pillow.
You gotta
Oh,
clean
gosh,
your
that's a
face.
whole
You gotta
nother
do
TV
what to the
show.
pillow?
Yes.
Vacuum the pillow.
Yes.
Yes.
That's blowing my mind.
That's blowing my
Yeah.
mind.
Or keep a nice little
Stay
towel.
woke.
Yeah.
No.
So how do people call you to get this stuff? Because this, I mean, my hands feel so good right now.
Mine do too.
My
What's
hands
that
feel
mask?
good.
Why you
Let me
use
get
the
a
mask?
little
Oh,
more
the
of that.
mask.
Yeah, you gotta
Pass
get a
the
little
mask.
taste of that
Pass
stuff.
the
The
mask.
mask.
So the charcoal mask, and this is my top seller, I make it as a cream. So I know a lot of things are floating around on Facebook with that peel thing off. Don't peel anything off your face.
Don't
That's
peel
not
anything off. Don't do
Don't
it.
damage
Carol's
your
daughter
face.
said that too. She
This
said don't
is
feel.
a creamy charcoal mask.
This is
Well,
why I have the
that
dry
feels
skin. That's
excellent.
why I'm gonna put it on. Right
Yeah, put it on. Try it. I'm telling you, it feels so good.
Yeah.
Feels
And you're
good
going to
and
use this
moist.
once a
Ooh,
week.
it's natural too.
Oh, once a week.
Yeah. I put
So-
mine on in the shower.
Honey
I
busted,
luxuriate in the
honey
shower.
butter.
Okay, so you just rub it in.
Would you say
Yeah.
you do what in the shower?
I
You
luxuriate.
get real luxurious?
Yeah, so my water bill is kind of high. Because that's my only me time. I have small children, so that's my only me time.
But then
Man.
too, the steam helps to open the pores.
My
and your-
skin
your
and my hair love steam.
Right.
And so I sit there and I put my mask on first and I just let it sit while I do other
Everything
thing that
else,
I'm
okay.
going to do.
That's a good. That's a good.
and then,
yeah.
and then I wash it off.
Man.
And then I'll
Especially
come
for women
out,
don't have time, so you
moisturize.
do that
Wow.
first with the mask, and then and you allow that to take the process.
Yes.
That's a good strategy for those single mothers, those women who don't have a lot of time. Yeah.
Do
I'm
anything in
sorry,
the shower.
masker for men too. You have
Oh,
skin.
yeah, yeah.
We don't
You know,
peel it
it's
off.
amazing
So we got to
to
stop
me how they
going to
don't
bed,
think they
Ryan.
have
We
skin.
got we got
I don't know
do
what they
something
think they
else.
I
have.
don't think they have skin.
I don't know what they think
need
they
lotion.
have.
And
Isn't
what,
that
what am I
cool?
holding?
So that is my cafe latte
That's
soap.
a soap.
That's why I
Oh,
love
it's a
it.
soap.
And I
Smell
make
that.
it
Don't
with
it smell good?
Ooh-wee.
and I make it with coffee grounds.
So you so ashamed
That's
right now.
good.
Stay woke.
That smells so good.
That's the first one I picked up.
Y'all are missing out, man. Y'all got to get some of this stuff.
Now
Now,
these
what
are
is this made of?
great.
Ooh, wee.
That's rose clay with eucalyptus.
really
Rose clay. I got
That smells really good.
Yes,
See the
no,
rose.
you have to smell
Let me
it.
smell the eucalyptus because
That
eucalyptus
opens
opens you up.
inside the shower with the steam.
This
Yes.
is life right now. I'm smelling life.
So it's like that commercial breathe. Breathe.
Okay, so
Man.
Jackie, how can we get a hold
Yeah,
of you?
yeah, how?
And because these are great gifts.
Thank you.
Give it out.
I
Give it out.
mean,
Give it out.
Can we get baskets?
Give it out.
Yes,
Yes,
you can customize any of the products that you want. My website is beautybarorganics.com.
Beautybarorganics.com.
Phone number?
313-473-9639.
Now hold on a second. Grab a pen.
Yeah,
Grab a
get a
pen.
pen.
Grab a pen.
Because somebody would.
You said you can customize the gifts and products.
Yes, and I do free gift wrapping.
Really? So you making the good? So you kind of
Christmas time
like
right here.
like the one who actually makes the tennis shoe, and then Nike comes and pays you to put
This
the
is
Nike
what
symbol
folks
on
need to
it.
buy
Yes.
this for Christmas.
There we go.
This is the Christmas gift. This is the Christmas gift right here.
This
what
is
they need to buy.
it. Is
And
it?
guess what? You're supporting black business.
That's what
Yes.
I'm trying to tell you.
And for all those who like those custom suits with their little initials on it, you could have a bar soap with your name on it.
There you
Yes,
go.
you
There you go. Really?
In your south.
So now, for that person who was taking their sweet old time to sit, they're going to write it down. They're going to buy all these products up. They got to hurry up because you say all this stuff just sells out.
I got
It
it.
does.
Write it down now. Last minute. Write it
Write
down.
it down.
313-473-9639. And I do have a store. I have a location.
Oh, give us the location.
It's
Yes.
14430 West McNichols. And so I'm at 6 Mile in Strathmore, right down the street from Mount Sinai.
Say it one more time.
Yes.
1.
4430 West McNichols right at Strathmore.
So get yourself
Oh,
a
wow.
Lou's Deli and come on down and get some good makeup stuff.
How
Good-
about
good-
we go to Southern Smokehouse that's right at the other corner and
Oh,
then
true.
come to...
Because we're doing the vegan thing.
Yeah, you're right.
I know.
I haven't
Oh,
been to Lou's
gosh.
Deli in a while. I totally forgot. You see how fast I jumped off my diet? You see how fast I jumped off my diet?
Because all this was just full of dairy. We done ate more apples, we
Yes.
and more animals than
Time to
what we
wrap it
need to
up.
know.
Yes.
So with that, I want to say thank you so much, Tamiko Joy,
Thank
Tamiko
you.
Joy.
for
Yes.
coming out here today, and we want hopefully borrow your products again. We want to thank Main Street and everybody out there that's been watching.
Happy
We wanna thank
holidays.
Robin Barnes and Mario
Woo!
Bueno.
Happy holidays.
And Jackie Jackson and then Rick Blocker for coming on the show.
Cheers.
Again, 2018 is going to be a great year. It's going to be such a great year. I want you out there to recognize that. It's again, be the change you want to see in the world, folks. We'll see you on January 9th. That'll be our next show. And again, first job, getting jobs, create jobs, manage money from the jobs. We all have to participate in doing just this, y'all. We can do it. Don't wait on it. Go out there, create it, and get it for yourself.
Merry Christmas!
Thank you, sister.
Happy
Merry
New Year! Woo
Christmas.
woo!